before you can throw like an MVP, catch like an all-star, or hit like a Hall of Famer, you'll have to work like a Gabe Kapler. K-Swiss.
I can help you plan ahead and make sure you have money for things like the kids' education.
That's fantastic. But I was thinking about starting my own business.
As a matter of fact, that's part of the plan, too. Now, here's the best part. Guaranteed income for you and Meg to retire in style.
AXA, dynamic vision, Equitable, a trusted resource. Call us. Equitable is a member of the global AXA Group.
The 1999 NFL Draft live on ESPN and ESPN2. Join Chris Berman, Mel Kiper, Joe Theismann, Boomer Esiason, Chris Mortensen, Mike Tirico, Jim Kelly, plus the rest of the NFL Draft team. From the first pick to the last pick, our team breaks it all down. Also live reports from inside the war rooms. The 1999 NFL Draft, the players, the teams, the future. Continues tomorrow at 11 on ESPN and at 1 on ESPN2.
Welcome back to the draft in New York. San Diego is on the clock here in the early stages of round 3. The Cincinnati Bengals had a pick a couple of picks ago and chose a defensive back out of Fresno State and Corey Hall. But earlier, the Bengals made a splash with Achilles Smith, the quarterback from Oregon. Our sprint video conferencing we'll hook up with from Cincinnati, the coach of the Bengals, Bruce Coslett. Coach, the quarterback situation there with Jeff Blake, obviously had Neil O'Donnell last year. Why go with Achilles with the number 3 pick?
Well, we just thought he was by far the best player. I mean, a lot of people had him number 1 on their draft board, and he was very high up on us. And we decided to bite the bullet and take a quarterback. We had a real good offer from the New Orleans Saints, Coach Ditka and Mr. Kaharick, but we decided to keep our pick and draft Achilles.
How tempting was that offer? Because as you well know, the value in late in day 1 and then day 2 of a draft, if you could get 5 or 6 picks, could be wonderful. And you do have a quarterback who's at least proven himself at some point in this league, in Jeff Blake. We have really tempted to get the boatload of picks and try to build a great foundation.
Yeah, we talked long and hard about it, but in the long run, we thought that this would give us our best chance. We think that this quarterback class is an outstanding class, and so that's what we decided to do.
Until you get your hands on them, get them in your system, let them learn your playbook and all that, you really can't get a great answer to this question, but take a stab at it for me. Do you think Achilles can come in and compete at all for a 1 or 2 or 3? Where do you think he's going to compete come camp?
I really don't know. You know, there's all kinds of different ways to do this. You can put them right into the fire. You can sit them for a year. You can play them part-time. You know, there's a lot of different ways to do it. We'll just have to see how he responds. We'll have to see how Jeff Blake plays. You know, that's going to have a lot to do with it, and it's going to be interesting.
Neil definitely out of the equation there?
Probably, yes, he is.
With Jeff Blake and being number 3, number 2, number 1 at different points last year, where's his attitude been in this offseason as he gets ready through your mini camps that come up?
Oh, I think he's fine. You know, he'll come in and compete. He knows. I told him a month ago or so, I was down in Florida and met with him, that he was, you know, going into camp, the starting quarterback. Nothing's changed. We told him that we very well might draft a quarterback with the 3rd pick. Jeff's a very competitive guy. He'll take this as a challenge, and I hope he makes it real hard for us to do anything but play him.
It should make it interesting. Well, Bruce, we appreciate your time. Thanks. Good luck tomorrow.
Okay, Mike. Thank you.
Bruce Coslett, coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, joining us via video conference. Miami was on the clock. They just made a trade. Trader Jimmy working the war room phones hard. Detroit's now on the clock. We're breaking back from New York. The draft on the Deuce.
McDonald's will give you the Corvette. What you do with it is up to you. The excitement of the Monopoly game is back at McDonald's. Just buy America's favorite fries and play for a chance to win millions of prizes, including a stunning Chevrolet Corvette convertible. Where can you go to play the Monopoly game today? Did somebody say McDonald's?
Dear Great Aunt Edith, camp is fun, but dear Uncle Lenny, camp is fun, but I need money arts and crafts. I miss you. Billy, P.S. I made this candle for you.
No, more pathetic. Come on, pathetic. Nice.
With new Polaroid greeting cards, you can show your relatives how much you really love them.
Okay, that's all of Billy's relatives. Who's next?
Got a TV here?
Yeah, just pull over by the hot tub.
Polaroid. See what develops.
Smells like money.
We started this business with a green thumb, a vivid imagination,
and a lot of hard work.
But before long, I could see we needed help, financial help.
So I called American Express Small Business Services.
They helped us with equipment financing so we could keep on growing.
And with the corporate card, we finally got a handle on expenses.
1-800-SUCCESS was the best call we ever made.
With American Express, we've learned what it's like to have a partner you can count on.
And a brother.
Passion, intensity, artistry. Act now and watch over 100 Major League Soccer matches you can't see anywhere else. MLS ESPN Shootout, a season's worth of excitement. Don't miss a beat of the heart-pounding, heart-breaking action. To order, call DirecTV at 1-800-DirecTV or Prime Star at 1-800-Prime Star.
We are back, and the picks are coming fast and furious here in the third round. Corey Hall, Cincinnati. The safety, Rex Tuckler. Tackle goes to the Bears. Chris Watson, come here, I need you. The cornerback goes to Denver. Rich Commander Cody and his Lost Planet Airmen. The safety from Texas A&M goes to St. Louis. Steve Hayden, tight end from South Dakota State, goes to San Diego. We'll do that in a minute. And Jared DeVries, defensive tackle, Iowa, goes to Detroit in a pick they reacquired in a trade from Miami, who had acquired the trade earlier from Detroit. We'll clean that up. Here's Jared DeVries, who now goes to the Detroit Lions, a Big Ten player in Big Ten country.
Exactly. Against Aaron Gibson this year, I thought he did a good job. Overall, considering he was a little banged up this season, didn't have quite the productivity as he did as a junior and a sophomore, but a hustler in the backfield a great deal, uses his hands well, never quits on a play, great motor. And I think when you get Jared DeVries now in the third round, at one point you were looking at maybe a first or early second. So it had not been for the fact he didn't play up to the level expected because of an injury, you're talking about a good bargain at this point for the Detroit Lions. This kid made a lot of plays throughout his career. You see it there. Here comes Joe Germain in the Big Ten, moving in for the sack. So good value at this stage of the third round.
Let's move back away to San Diego, who had no first-round pick and only a pick in the late second, which we'll get back to in a moment, and a pick they just made for Bobby Beathard, tight end Steve Hayden from South Dakota State. Now, some of the small schools that Bobby always digs into the small schools and oftentimes gets nuggets. Some of the schools through his years, Carson Newman, Oregon Tech. I mean, you're just looking at some of them. I'll let me go back to that because there were some really good ones on there. Can we go back to page one? No, we can't. Concordia up in Quebec, Sonoma State, where you know they get good wine. Troy State, Pasadena Community College. And you saw some of the names on the first page. And now here is South Dakota State with Steve Hyde. By the way, all the tight ends come from the Dakotas now?
Seems like it with Klein Sasser from North Dakota, Chris. I think you look at this choice, passing up Dan Campbell from Texas A&M, Rufus French, Ole Miss, Jeremy Tooman, Michigan. A gamble at this stage of the second round, certainly a reach at that point in the third round. I think when you look at Steve Hyde, size is excellent. May lack the quickness to provide the pass-catching ability at the pro level you're looking for, but a guy who did catch 46 passes, averaged 16.1 yards per catch, and he is an excellent long snapper, which certainly adds to his value. But you had some fairly solid tight ends still on the board at this stage of the third round. And you're taking a kid who was projected to be maybe in that third to fifth round area. So this is a little early, even though it is still in the third round. We're early in round three, and there's I think some pretty solid tight ends still on the board at this point. And Jermaine Fazan, the other second round pick of Bobby Beathard and Chargers, I thought at that stage of round two was a major reach as well.
Well, and Bobby, though, knowing that he's not drafting first round here in the late second and here third, trying to go for a guy that may be a real diamond in the rough and maybe what appears to be a reach. You never know what will turn out. As the Chargers start a new regime with head coach Mike Riley from Oregon State, and the rapport between he and Ryan Leaf already has become famous. Ryan Leaf is around working out, but they will start the year, remember, with Jim Harbaugh at quarterback for San Diego, who led the league in defense last year. And they figure if they can have some offense this year, as opposed to last year, they had none.